United Kingdom-based fintech entrepreneur Dozy Mmobuosi has unveiled his pet football club, Club 1472 in Lagos. The news of the coming football club to be based in Surulere has sent soccer-starved residents of the community and its environs delirious with expectations. Dozy spoke to Arise Sports correspondent Aaron Akarajola.
Businessman Dozy Mmobuosi certainly is a name that a lot of Nigerian fans, especially football fans across the nation, are very familiar with his philanthropy and, more importantly, with the fact that he has time and time again ensured that the end of season tournament for the Nigeria Professional Football League, now known as the Nigeria Premier Football League, is one that will excite the players and the clubs alike. But this time around, he's taking it a step further by deciding to put his money where his mouth is by buying, registering, and also featuring a club in the Nigerian National League, the second tier of league football in Nigeria. And the club is 1472. It is my honor to have with us in the studio to talk about Nigerian football, Sheffield United, and more importantly, 1472. What does the future hold for them? We have with us here in the studio, from our London studio to be very precise, Dozy Mmobuosi. Dozy, I want to say thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, Aaron, for having me.
All right, Dozy, let's get it started. First of all, you've invested heavily in the last 2-3 years into the Nigeria Premier Football League. And a lot of people have asked why. And some will say maybe this is a combination of that. Talk to us, what actually inspired you to ensure that the Nigeria Football League gets a massive injection of cash?
Well, thanks, Aaron, for your question. We all know as Nigerians that for years, the league has lacked money, has lacked funding. So each time that came up, even in boardrooms and in other meetings with my colleagues, I said, look, I'm happy to support and also get the businesses I'm involved in to support. For me, it's about, if you look at 1994, when the Super Eagles played, and even Atlanta 96 with Nwankwo Kanu, these days, we don't see any of that. For me, it's a call to duty. It's a national call for me, and I will continue to do that.
All right, Dozy, I'm sure you must have heard this, which is saying that football is the billionaire's plaything these days, and from Roman Abramovich, what he did at Chelsea with the Abu Dhabi guys, what they are doing with Manchester City, and don't forget the Saudi-backed Newcastle United. You yourself, you try to get into football in the UK with Sheffield United, but that's not where my question is going for now. I want to hear from you because we know you started a club 1472 here in Lagos. Is it an ego thing for billionaires to say, we want to own a football club, or what is it? Talk to us about that.
Well, for those who know me, I have zero ego. For me, it's always been about working for my country, Nigeria. I do not like what's going on in football, and I know it's getting better. And if 10 or 20 of me can come support football in Nigeria, then we can build what the Saudis and the other Arabs and the Englishmen have done. So what stops me from doing it for my country? Even the last interview I had here, where Dr. Bati interviewed me, I made it very clear that even my bid for a football club here in England was also beyond looking at a disenfranchised city like Sheffield. For me, it was more of a national call. Nothing stops Nigerians from any part of the world, wherever we live in. Nothing stops us from owning something very important. Football to me is important. It unifies peoples, it unifies Africans, Nigerians, and even the world over. We know what football does. Football is capable of stopping wars. It's capable of uniting and, of course, prospering young people. as a young Nigerian, I think I want to basically also inspire my fellow young Nigerians to see how we can unify and be united for one goal, and that goal is to develop our country, Nigeria.
Yes, I was there and I saw Surulere people.
No ego for me.
Okay, no ego, you say. I was there.
Well,
okay, go ahead. I can hear you.
No. Well, I'm talking of Surulere. I wasn't born in Surulere, but as a young bachelor many years ago, when I was a young bachelor, I lived in Surulere for 2 years. I have family in Surulere. I have great friends like Desmond Elliott and the rest in Surulere. And of course, you know that the National Stadium is in Surulere. Even the Teslim Balogun Stadium, owned by the Lagos State government, is also in Surulere. You know how important Surulere is. Everything I do is... it really is beyond strategy, but it is intentional that Surulere will be that community that is going to unify, Nigerians basically eventually. But football is, Aaron. Let me just slow down here and wait for your next.
Okay, permit me to say this. Yeah, you've mentioned football. If there's anything I know covering football for decades, is the fact that football is expensive. You have ventured into football here in Nigeria. 4072 is the name. And first of all, I'd like to know why you chose 4072 off the cuff, because probably would have been expecting a Dozy FC or something more fanciful like that. But you've chosen 4072. Talk to us about the team, your aspirations, and the fact that football is not cheap. It will bore a hole in your pockets if you let it. So, hence, people start and actually pull out at some point. Talk to me about this.
Thanks for thinking or saying that my name is fancy. 1472 is the year. 1472 is the year Lagos was established, kind of, when the Portuguese discovered Lagos, as we were told. So internationally, that's what it is. 1472 is when Lagos was discovered. So for me, I know that it's expensive to run a football club, but expensive is relative. Putting in a few billions of naira into football is worth it. And of course, this is going to be a business. I want to see Nigerians coming together to support this club, and with time, we can then commercialize it. But I'm known to go long on everything that I do. So I'm going long on football in Nigeria. We're going to establish a properly run football club. If you were there at the launch yesterday, you must have seen how we put that together. You must have seen the kind of infrastructure we've put in for the players, and it's just the beginning. We are going to expose these players internationally. In fact, as we speak, we plan an international friendly with Como FC in the coming weeks, and that's in Italy. We are going to, expose our players and make sure that this club is well run. And the good people of Surulere would, at some point, even co-own this club with me.
All right, Dozy. Now, this is just on a lighter note. Some are saying that maybe a tech rivalry is brewing with Shola owning a spot in Lagos here, and they are doing well. Essentially, they've hit promotion, and they're now playing at the top flight. They're saying that maybe very soon we might be seeing some sort of rivalry between yourself and Shola. Have you actually heard anything like that at the moment?
No, I don't believe in rivalry. Nigeria is, we're 230 million people or so in Nigeria, and two people cannot be involved in any rivalry because they own football clubs. I see Shola, I consider him as a young person like me. I might be older, but look, I also want to see the likes of other mentors like Aliko, Tony, and the rest owning clubs, and let's build Nigeria together. There is no rivalry here.
All right, now let's talk about the footballing ecosystem. A lot of people have complained that it is not as structured as that of or what is obtainable in the UK, or maybe even in Portugal, in Spain, in France, in Italy. And even in Africa, when you look at it, some will still say that the Egyptian league, probably the South African league, the Moroccan league, and some other leagues are way above ours. Talk to me. Is there any fear that maybe this lack of coordination might deter you or put you off at some point? Are you ready to get dirty and put your fingers into the mud?
You see, Aaron, I do not believe in complaining. You know, for those who are complaining, I think it's just time for you to get up and do the work. We can't continue to complain about how things are not working in our country. If I'm doing it, then you can do it if you can. I think it's time for us to stop complaining about how things do not work in our country. For me, again, I'll say for those who know me, no matter how hard you hit me, I get up and I move. I am going to believe in what I'm doing. I'll continue to support football in Nigeria, and of course 1472 FC right now, and there's no going back here. For us, for things to change in our country, we need to get dirty. You know, we need to get to work.
All right, talk to us. What are your aspirations? What are your big dreams for 1472? You're a man that has seen it happen in the UK, certainly. You want to bring some of that back home.
1472. Yeah, yes, we're in the NNL now. We'll definitely get qualified to the next stage, which is the Nigerian Premier League, and we'll stay there. We're going to get in the best players in Nigeria, and I'm also going to announce here that we have 2 players coming from South America joining the club, and we can also even get talents from everywhere in the world. And when other businessmen begin to run and own football clubs, then we can begin to build a very solid league for our country, Nigeria.
All right, finally, before I let you go, you had a failed bid to take over Sheffield United. Unfortunately, they're not doing as well as I'm sure they expected. And some are actually even tipping that they might be going back to relegation as fast as they actually came up. Talk to us about that particular bid. Do you have any regrets? Are you still going to be going back at some point to own a club in the UK? Let's get to hear from you.
Aaron, I would have loved to avoid this, but let me just make it very clear that, to be very clear to Nigerians and to everyone in the world, I don't see it as a failed bid. I have not responded in many months because that's just the way it should be for now. Let's see how it goes, and fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes. I don't wish to say anything further on this subject matter. Right now, it's about 1472 FC, and whenever there is an opportunity to do anything anywhere in the world, I'm there.
All right, Dozy, just on a lighter note, it's always been said that usually Chelsea was not the initial club Abramovich wanted to buy in England, and it turned out well. And also, when you also look at the Abu Dhabi guys, Manchester City weren't the preferred club. As a matter of fact, there were talks that it was Everton. And look how it turned out. So maybe 1472 might turn out to just be that Eureka club that would actually blossom to something great. So any party was, as we try to wrap it up right now.
Yeah, let's see. I will forever support my own club and any other business that I am involved in. So.
All right, Dozy, want to say thank you very much. We wish you and 1472 all the best. We'll be monitoring the developments, and hopefully you can actually crack it up first time action into the top flight, talking about the Nigeria Premier Football League. But for now, the new season is about to begin. The NNL. What should we expect for 1472? What kind of football? Permit me to ask this question. What style of football? What will the club be known for? What will the club represent on and off the pitch?
Quality is what we're going to offer. You know, we're going to play, we're fielding the best players in Nigeria. We have very young players. You know, I don't believe there are no good players elsewhere, but I can vouch for the kind of players I've seen. I'm looking forward to meeting some of them very soon. But I'm deeply involved in the entire process. Quality is what we're going to assure, and I'm going to call on Nigerians to begin to support our teams. You know, go to watch the games. Don't sit on your screen and just tweet things without even being there physically to support them. Let's build. If we watch the English Football League or the Premier League here in England, you know, we should begin to go watch. You know, our players play across our stadia in Nigeria.
All right, I want to say thank you very much. I'm sure the Surulere people are very glad that they have a team they can call their own. And more importantly, I'm sure young people who have been hoping the opportunities will spring their way to actually play football at the highest level will be glad about this. Those who want to say thank you very much. We'll still be catching up with you subsequently, but we want to say congratulations
Thank you.
for now.